There, welcome back to Eternal. I hope your day's going well. I'm your Eternal Master, and today we're going to be talking about Form 4, the fourth form of lightsaber combat, Ataru. This is part of our playlist of the 7 forms of lightsaber combat, so let's get right into it. So Form 4 was known as Ataru, also known as the aggression form, and that's because it was heavily aggressive. It used moves like the Hawk Bat swoop, and many somersaults, many acrobatics and speed to pretty much go to town against your opponent and just absolutely destroy them. Now, Form 4 didn't really have much of a purpose to be needed created and was created around, well, at earliest when the Mandalorian Jedi Wars were breaking out. Now, the reason why I say it didn't really have a purpose was, when we look at Suresu and Makashi, they needed to be creative. Makashi needed to be created because Shicho was not great at dueling because of its broad swings, and so they wanted something to be able to counter that with precision, Makashi. And Makashi wasn't so great at blaster bolt deflecting, which is why Suresu needed to be created. Now, Ataru is pretty much the exact opposite of Suresu. It's heavily offensive, whereas Suresu is heavily defensive. Now, Ataru's most notable member is Jedi Grandmaster Yoda, and this form really actually is shown off by Yoda. As we know, Yoda is extremely old, at 900 and over 900 and nearly a century. He's able to pull off things like frickin' somersaults. I mean, tell me that's not incredible. Now, this was because of the connection you'd have to have with Ataru and the Force was very strong, you know? It was the form that really allowed that connection to really be shown by letting the Force pretty much flow through intensely so that you could pull off all the Force spins, jumps, Hawk Bat swoops, and pretty much everything. Now, this form pretty much allowed Yoda to do all this. Because Yoda's connection was so powerful, so strong, he became a master of this just flat out. And actually, what's quite incredible is, because he was so good at this, he was incredibly deceptive, because, you know, he's quite old. You wouldn't really think, well, he's going to be able to do all that. You'd kind of be thinking, okay, he's going to be a little bit more fragile, we'll probably be able to, you know, if we batter him with heavy offense, you know, we'll get him there. But, you know, he did what you would try to do, and just did the exact opposite, and absolutely went, you know, nuts on people, pretty much. Now, Yoda used this against Sidious and Dooku when we see him duel, and we can really see against Sidious, you know, these two are very balanced out, and we could, you could definitely say Yoda's the greatest duelist of all time. You could also definitely say Sidious is the greatest duelist of all time, and I'll let you guys decide on that one for yourselves. But we can actually kind of see that Yoda actually wins the duel against Sidious. We know that because he's still got his lightsaber in his hand, whereas we see Palpatine retire to using the Force. This could mean one of two things. A, Palpatine's lightsaber has been knocked out, or B, Palpatine realised he's not going to win this duel, he has to rely on his Force abilities. And I think both of those are perfectly acceptable. I think I'd more side with B. Palpatine realises he can't win this duel, it's not as easy against Windu, so he has to resort to his Force abilities. We'll see against Dooku, Yoda is the person who's controlling the fight. We know this because Dooku has to escape, and has to, you know, use the Force to pretty much collapse a giant beam or power thing, I can't exactly remember what it was, onto Obi-Wan and Anakin. And this really shows us, yes, Dooku, as great as duelist he is, he cannot take on Yoda. Yoda is just superior, he's the greater duelist. His form's just incredible, his speed, his agility is so much better than Dooku. Dooku has to run away and escape and be a coward in this case, something that he would obviously hate. Now, another member that might surprise you that uses, you know, Form 4 is Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, Qui-Gon Jinn was actually a practitioner and master of Form 4, and even though we don't see as much, we can see he's, you know, his form is very, lightsaber duels against Maul, he's using a lot of offense. As we know, Maul was also a master of Juyo, which is extremely aggressive, and that is the Sith kind of form, and that's flat out, you know, aggression. You know, that is pure aggression, pretty much, and rage. Whereas, obviously, you know, Ataru's aggression form with a bit of restraint on it for the Jedi reason. And we can see that, you know, Qui-Gon is pretty much just doing offense. And his form is actually very good. We don't see him do as many somersaults, which actually kind of leads to the question of why does he pick this form? Obviously, this form kind of has a heavy emphasis on these somersaults. And that's where Yoda was brilliant at it, where Qui-Gon kind of, we see his flaw in the form. That's because of mainly his physicality. He's a lot taller, and so that's going to kind of weigh him down in that sense, which kind of doesn't really help him, and his, you know, connection to the Force wasn't as strong as Yoda's, meaning it'd be a bit more difficult to pull off all the somersaults, spins, tricks, and everything alongside it. So in my opinion, and not in me. Come on, Grand Admiral. Come on, Master, whatever. Wherever we're at for today's video. Yeah. So in my opinion, Qui-Gon was a bit more of a tenacious dueler with Form 4. It was kind of like he was there. Like, imagine you're climbing stairs, you're almost at the top, or you're climbing a mountain, you're almost at the top, but you're just not there yet. It's like he was just below the full potential and becoming a flat-out true master of it. He just had that one thing he needed to conquer to become that, like, brilliant beast of a duelist. And unfortunately, he kind of didn't have it, and that's kind of why he lost to Maul, in my opinion, in the end, because his form was just not good enough. It was just lacking a little bit of the Ataru side, and so, unfortunately, we all know what happens. Maul also, we'll talk about when we get to Juyo, why Maul also kind of won that. But anyway, to quickly recap the, video and the form Ataru, Form 4, it was the aggression form, and it was heavily comprised of using aggressive strikes, somersaults, agility, and the hawk bat swoop, which I will make a video on the hawk bat swoop, do not worry. And that would kind of allow, users to be able to be on offense the whole time and kind of gain control of the battle. In my opinion, and in many fences' opinion and duelers' opinion, whoever's attacking is the person who's controlling the battle, because the one defending has to react to what you're doing. So this form was almost like, you could say, it was pretty much the form all about controlling the duel. But anyway, guys, I do hope you found this video helpful, and if you did like the video, feel free to like, and please consider subscribing. But anyway, guys, yeah, I do hope this helped for all you Jedi and Sith out there, and yeah, may the Force be with you.